Hey, welcome here to the Central PA Pour, and we are getting real close to the holidays, Mr. Dave.
That's true. Which holiday is that? Is that Easter, right? No.
Easter? Yeah, we're not.
Whatever.
Don't make it go any quicker than it already has. I mean, here we are coming into the end of 2023 already, and we've been at this almost 2 years.
Yeah, seems like 10.
Yeah. I can't even say anything with that. I'm sorry, man. Anyways, I'm Bret. This is Dave. And we are happy to have you join us on our little venture of craft brew around the Central PA area and abroad. We do have some guests sitting in here, so make sure you give us a like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Look us up on all your social media platforms, wherever you get your audio podcast at Central PA Pour. Welcome to the Central PA Pour, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing great, doing great.
So who do we have sitting in studio with us?
Go ahead, Mr. Matt.
I'm Matt Moore. I'm one of the co-owners with Sign of the Horse and a brewer as well.
So you are the head brewer?
I am not the head brewer.
Oh, you're just a brewer.
I am a brewer. Okay. I'm the part-time brewer.
Part-time brewer. Well, being part owner, that's good to be part-time. That's what we all hope to be, a part-time owner, right?
Exactly.
All right.
So that's what I'm working on right now.
You're working on that now too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Brad Wilson. I'm one of the co-owners of Sign of the Horse Brewery. Charge of basically the operations and day-to-day of the whole company there.
Well, welcome to the Central PA Pour. We are happy to make this happen. You guys have been around for a little bit. You have a pretty good operation going up in Hanover.
Yes, correct.
And you also have one in Redline.
Yeah, we just opened our location up in Redline April 1st.
And you actually had two locations in Hanover. You got your main restaurant part?
Yes, the main original location, Sign of the Horse Brewery, and then downtown we have another satellite location, Sign of the Horse Beer House.
Which is a pretty cool location, right on a square.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Summertime, get out, walk around. Well, you can't walk too far.
No. Exactly.
So, how did you guys get to open this, and then where did the name come from?
The name is the easy part. We're doing researching for the name that we're going to go with, just doing a lot of the Hanover history. We wanted to make sure that when we opened this thing, that's what we're going to be part of, is history. So researching it, we found a little tavern back in the late 1700s named Sign of the Horse Tavern.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yes. So actually one of the Mr. Thomas Jefferson, on his way to draft the Declaration of Independence, stopped by en route.
Grab a pint to go.
Yeah, grabbing it. Exactly.
See, that the 4-pack shit's not too far. I mean, it goes back like a couple hundred years.
The man was ahead of his time.
That is awesome. I grew up here and I'm a history buff, but I never knew that. That's awesome news. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it was pretty. And once we found that out, it was just, this is the name. This is where we need to go.
They had no doubt.
Right.
That's awesome. So, how did the partnership? Were you home brewers, friends, or how did this all
I
come
had
about?
never met this man in my life.
Until tonight.
Until we got
It's
started.
working out great.
That's right. When we decided I am not a brewer. So as most of the brewers out there that start these brewing companies, they brew, or home brewers, and they get going. I never brewed a beer in my life. I've drank a lot of them, but not been on the brewing side of it. So I have a friend that was a police officer in Baltimore County, and he was friends with Matt, and we were talking about maybe starting a brewery. He said, well, I got a guy who does home brewing, grows his own hops, and for me, if he grows his own hops, come on. He's got to know what he's doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So he gave me his number. I called him. We hooked up. I met him down in Owings Mills. We were going to meet at the World of Beer down there in the new Owings Mills, and they were closed that day for a private event. So I thought we're off to a really, really, really good start here.
Wedding crashers.
Yeah, so we went across the street. But anyway, I basically asked him if he could do it, and he thought, sure, he could part-time brew for us. Because at the time, that's what we thought we were going to need, just brew once or twice a week. That was the plan.
That didn't last long, did it?
No. No, we found out that that's not going to be the case.
Yeah.
At all.
So, Matt, you're growing your own hops.
Yeah, so I was a home brewer since the early 90s.
Oh, you've been at it quite some time.
Oh
Then.
yeah, long time. Mostly, so I would keg my stuff, and then like you guys are friends and neighbors. I would, if my friend needed a keg of something, he would order it up, and I would just brew it for him and deliver it. A couple weeks later, I would do like graduation parties or whatever for friends. So people, including the mutual friend we had, kind of knew what I was about beer wise. Never really wanted to get professional because I felt like, I risked ruining the hobby. That was like just a concern. I was like, it'll take away the love. It'll become work. And
Well, it becomes work, right? Yeah.
honestly, in hindsight, it was wrong. Professional brewing is even cooler than home brewing. It really is. It brings other, stresses, but
Right.
But the beer side is it's awesome.
And they say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I'm still waiting for that day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, so all the recipes that you guys have, are they collab between the three of you, or are they mostly yours, Matt? Or
Well, at this point, now that we've been at this a while, there's only 2 beers that were recipes from
your home days?
Yeah, and this is one of them that's in front of us. But even that's been modified a little bit since we've been here. And then we have a York Street Wheat, which is a popular wheat beer that we serve. That is fairly close. Brad, we actually adjusted it for his palate. He's got the everyday beer guy palate, and those adjustments seem to have worked pretty well. So.
I got a beer palate too, so but it just likes beer. Speaking of, so what is this first one we're going to get to?
This one is Palomino.
Palomino.
This is our house blonde ale.
So tell us a little bit about the blonde ale. What goes into making a blonde ale?
Basically, for a blonde ale is simplicity. So you want just quality 2-row, grains and simple, American ale yeast and just nice neutral hop that's not going to overpower it at all. Okay. So you don't want to scare off people that are looking for a beer that
you can't drink.
It tastes nice. It's clean, not too malty, not too hoppy, just clean, easy.
Cheers to Palomino, correct?
Palomino.
Blonde
yes.
ale. That is nice. It's got a nice mouthfeel. Mm-hmm. Very smooth, crisp, and trying to get that flavor out. Whatever hop is in there, it's bringing a different flavor, and I can't place it on. It's a sessionable beer
for sure, and that's really the point. It's got a little craftiness, but not a ton. This is for what we call the uninitiated. This is how you bring them into the fold. Something easy like this.
Yeah, and speaking of, how many taps are you running in your rooms?
We run 13 at the York Street location. Run 20 in Red Lion.
20?
Yeah, 20 in Red Lion.
That's a lot of beer you got to brew.
And we run 10 in downtown location.
Now, any of those taps have different for the location, or are they all the same taps? They just rotate?
Well, the beer house was predominantly the German lagers that we had down there.
Okay, and that used to be called Zeck and DeFertis.
Zeck and DeFertis Beer House.
Did I say it correctly?
It's close enough, yes.
Close
enough. But that was predominantly where we had the German lagers down there. Now, we did have our Flux and the IPAs down there for those.
You got to have a little bit different for somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. And the plan is, obviously, when we brought Red Lion on, that we just combined both of those tap lists into one.
Okay.
Out there. So
that's unique. So you have to keep up with the recipes and the different styles and be able to supply all the locations.
Right.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. So going from home brewing,
right?
I'm assuming it was a 5 to 10 gallon batch, probably.
Mine was 15.
15. Yeah. And going to what systems you're brewing on now?
So we have 2 separate breweries. So our initial brewery was a Linkman. That's a 2-barrel system.
A 2-barrel, okay.
With 4-barrel tanks. So
you really had to brew to keep up with the demand.
It was hectic that first year and change. To keep up was a challenge.
Right.
And then we've upgraded. Now we're on we still maintain that system, and now we have a 10-barrel system as well.
10-barrel.
Right.
Keep up with production.
Yeah.
10 barrels.
It's awesome. What are some of the favorite beers that you like, Brad, and then you like? What are your favorite beers out of what you guys have on the tap list?
Well, when I go, and the reason why really we kind of started Sign of the Horse Brewery is I am mass produced beer. Like I'm Miller Lite, Bud Light. You get me, I'm great.
Water.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So when I go with friends to breweries, there would not be a very big selection for guys like myself.
Right.
So we thought there was a niche that if we start this brewery, let's cater a little bit to me, the everyday guy, and let's also cater to the craft beer enthusiast.
And I'm glad you said that because we're into the craft scene. So I plan a lot of things around the craft brew houses. I want to sample everything they got. But if I take my riding club somewhere on a motorcycle trip, because I tell them, if you don't plan something, I plan to ride, we're going to a brewery. But I have to look for a couple things. They need to have food. They need to have something other than beer, like a cider or distilled products. And then I'm also looking at the tap list. Do they have like a Pilsner, a sessionable beer that would hit somebody's palate that drinks Miller Lite or like a Coors Light? And most of the time they all do. And it's like, so they'll ask me, what do you, I'm like, that. And I'm like, dude, you don't know what fucking good beer tastes like.
Right. That's pretty much it. That's what I get told a lot.
Yeah.
So I know if I don't like it, it's going to be probably pretty good there. So it's like, okay, they bring on IPA, try this. I'm like, oh gosh. Okay, put that on. We're going to be good.
Yeah. I think it's cool that you're never beer brewery. You just had a vision. Yes. I think that's awesome.
No, it's good. And it is funny. You have to have thin skin with him because you'll make an IPA and you're just proud of it. It's like, this tastes great. Give it to Brad. He's like, oh, it's like, all right. And then it gets out there and people like it.
That's my wife's. Yeah. That's my wife's reaction every time. Honey, you got to try this. She goes, it's hoppy. I'm like, no, honey, it's fucking delicious.
Yeah. But they make really, really. I mean, just not being in the beer, I didn't know a lot of different styles of beer. I thought Miller Lite and Bud Light was
water,
a different style of beer. They're like, yeah, we can do this Kolsch, and I'm like, sounds nasty.
Nah, Kolsch is a good clean style, man.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite beers called House Arrest. And
I don't think I've had that one yet.
That thing is
nice.
You can drink that all day. So
yep, Kolsch Pilsners. I mean, it's either a lawnmower beer or, as Josh said from Seven Sirens, he called them a shower beer. And we had to ask him, what the hell's a shower beer? Same thing that you would call a lawnmower beer.
Exactly.
He's drinking them in the shower instead of riding the tractor.
Right. See, I can identify with you because I enjoy a good beer. I also enjoy some of the heavier beers, such as the barrel-aged beers and the porters. And but I also will go out sometimes, and I'll just order a Yingling or a Yingling Light. Or something like that.
Oh, shit. You like that fruited smoothie sour.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just can't wait to get my hands on one of those. But, I can understand that because sometimes it's the mood you're in. And sometimes you go out and you're in the mood for a nice porter. And other times I'm out for a lighter beer. I would appreciate that. Not too much of a IPA. I don't think I've ever actually volunteered to drink an IPA. I just, it was put down before me. I'll drink it.
Your palate has been opened up.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Matt, what's some of your favorite beer that you like at what you brew or even out? What's some of your favorite styles?
I mean, when I go out, if I see something seasonal that's unique, unique take on a seasonal type beer, if I really try that. My go-to is always just a West Coast IPA.
You like them real hoppy,
real
dry,
hoppy, pine. Real piney.
Like you're chewing on a piece of cud. Yeah,
and that's my style. But I've grown to love the New Englands. I mean, they're really cool in their own right. They just don't have that bitterness that I've come to love. But they're really cool beer. You know? So I'll drink them up too.
If you talk to somebody that is not a connoisseur of the craft industry, oh, I don't like all that hoppy stuff. I'm like, dude, it ain't all hoppy. It's not all hoppy, and it's the misconception. It's like in my industry, I'm in the auto repair. It's educating. So all you have to do is educate. And when you guys got a variety of beers that pretty much will suit anybody's palate of what they could try if they want to try something.
Well, and that's kind of the model that we've discussed it at length is we don't want to turn anybody away because we're stuck in the craft beer must be this or that. It's no, we're here for our customers. We want them to enjoy the experience, and we've got enough taps on our menu to provide that. So we keep brewing it.
Part-time brewing has become almost a full-time gig.
Yeah. And we were about, I don't know, we were probably maybe 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
And we were like, I know he's said he would do this for 2 days, but I think we're going to need another guy.
Yeah.
So you have more than just you as a brewer.
Yeah. So originally, and I see his coaster behind you, Sworn, Jesse.
Yes.
Jesse Mills.
Actually, we're supposed to have him on here as well.
Awesome. He was our first. He came on and he was
Okay.
part-time also because he had his job as
He's still working a
engineering.
full-time job.
Yeah. So, and he was absolutely just awesome and fantastic. And then he went off to do his own thing here that he's doing now, which is probably the beer he made for us was delicious. I'm sure that's
I
equally
did
well.
stop. We were working on trying to get a good date to get him on this podcast. And because they had just opened this fall, it was just like a whirlwind. So,
Right. Yeah, I tell you talk to that man for like 5 minutes and you're like, yeah, okay. Whatever you want to do, you go ahead and do.
well, if we ever get him scheduled, I'll be reaching out. Hey, you guys want to come back down and sit in?
Yes.
He was a guy. He was brewing for I want to say like 10, 12 years, and I was brewing a lot longer. But it was pretty clear, like he brought a lot to the table, and it was appreciated. So it helped develop my game a lot, and we've moved forward with some of that stuff. And I mean, like some of the beers, the one we have in front of us was initially one of his. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So the ale house, the lager house, the German house,
The beer house.
whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Right.
When I was there, I think it was during the World Cup. I stopped there and it was, you guys happened to be open. That bat was not. I saw Sandy on the street. I said hi, walked around. You guys were open. I went in, I couldn't have too many. I had to drive home yet. But I thought it was a unique thing because you got anything but it was all German style original beers. And I love that. Do you get into like the alt beers, the fist beers and all that stuff? Is that everything in there and it rotates around, or what's some of the staples at the beer house?
The staples are the house arrest, which was the Kolsch. That was definitely a staple. Then we have a Dunkel, my
I
rich
think
Dunkel.
I might have had that one already.
And that's another delicious one.
it's not bad.
Not bad. It's not West Coast, but it's not bad.
Right. Then we have obviously our Dig's Choice, which is a German Pilsner, which was really one of our Park Street brought it downtown. And then they did change. And just like I was talking about beer you don't even know you like.
Right.
Alt beer. We're going to brew an alt beer. I'm like, okay, what's that? And then you taste it and you're like,
I just had one.
this is my kind of beer.
I had one from Necromancer, and it's fucking delicious. And those styles, I think it's unique. If I'm out looking and I'm like, oh, I had that one, let's try that, and just find them unique. I like the traditional styles. Like that, we've done a couple. We've done an Irish Red, an English IPA, a Scottish Wee, and a cream ale. So, and now we just did a stout. So I like the traditional stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But I like taking that traditional, what you guys are doing, and twisting it a little bit with a unique flavor to it. Food wise, all locations got food, or is it just
All locations have food. Obviously, our Red Lion, we had the luxury, if you want to call that, of setting up the kitchen as we're going.
so you from scratch? You
Yes.
just design it the way you want it.
Exactly.
You're the visionary.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, now we can actually cook a lot of different styles of food. So that's got a full kitchen, and that's kind of we're not limited. The York Street one. This kitchen is about the size of this table.
Oh,
We'd have a hard time fitting it in there.
yeah, we've seen kitchens that are about the size
Because
of this
it was
table before.
Yeah, no, I can't say it. Poor Man's has got probably the smallest one I
Right.
saw. So It
Yes.
can't be much bigger, smaller than that.
Yeah, it's like 6x10, I think, is what it
Okay.
the measure. So
Can only do so much.
you
in
can
that
only do
space.
so much, yes, and especially when you got a Friday and Saturday night and you're house and I can pizzas on the line and I can do 4 at a time. So
You got to keep up.
yeah,
Because I think when my wife and I went with Kevin and Cindy up there, I don't think you and Sandy were available. You guys had like live music there too, and
Yes.
I don't think it was warm enough to keep the doors open, but
Right.
it was a pretty full house, and I mean it was an enjoyable time.
yeah, it's having that door, that large garage door in the pit, we call it, is beautiful, and especially on a nice fall night, nice early spring when it's still kind of cool, but it's not hot.
Yeah,
It kind of gives you the outdoor feel, even though you're not outdoors. So it's really, really nice.
I think it's a
good,
great
cool.
location what you guys have done, and quickly expanded. 2019 is when you first opened up.
Yes, in the end of October.
So that's not a whole lot of time, and you guys have done some pretty decent expansion.
Yeah, that's probably Matt's fault more than anything.
Oh, he just threw you under the bus and backed up again.
But the thing, initially when I came on, I wasn't a partner, and these guys, to their credit, I mean, they really were. They were a team I wanted to be on. So it was, and that's really what got the conversation on is getting in as a partner and really expanding the brand. So,
And I think it works because where somebody lacks, he's the brewer.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Y'all work together. It's part of the team. It's like
Yep.
you said, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a cog in that wheel, and it makes it go round.
And they're if you met Carl, you'd see that we are 3 unique.
The three amigos.
So it's like, yeah, it's we each have unique opinions and we look at things a different way, and that's really what makes it.
So you need to do a Mexican style lager and do the three amigos for the
well,
can
you're
label.
funny
close.
you should say that.
Yeah.
We are
Oh, sounds like
Yes.
yours got that in the
yeah,
plan.
so we actually do have a Mexican lager, and we call it "Son of a Motherless Goat."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we were sitting around, and I know everybody. You've talked about other brewers. Who, naming beers is always a tricky thing, and we were sitting in our little headquarters office, and we were somehow we were looking at videos from Three Amigos, and in the movie, one of those guys calls the bad guy a son of a motherless goat, and it was like that's the name.
That's it. That's
But-
awesome.
But I said it as a joke, and then like 3 weeks later, Brad shows up and he puts it on, and he got a
That's-
name. And that beer is sold. That beer sold quicker probably than any beer we've ever had on tap when we put it out.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, I didn't even know that. I just brought it up.
That's why it's fun.
yeah,
Yeah, but naming beers is interesting. And,
Yeah.
my wife said, I'd like to have that job. I'm like, honey, you'd like to have a lot of jobs. So when I brewed the English IPA and I did a kit cider for her, I'm like, well, got 2 opportunities right now. She couldn't come up with anything.
right.
I'm like, come on now.
Sometimes it just happens organically.
Yeah.
Just the name comes. Sometimes it's when you least expect it, like our zombie frog.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Well, I have this cat that just brings.
you weren't smoking a little something, seeing stuff walking
no,
around.
No. And this cat just goes outside and it just kills everything in the neighborhood and it brings it in. Well, it brought in the frog, and I get up and I come down the steps, and the frog is laid upside down, stretched out, not moving a bit. So I'm thinking, great, I got a dead frog. So I go grab a paper towel and I'm going to pick up the frog and throw it away. And as soon as I reach down to do that thing turned around and started jumping. I'm like, it's a zombie frog. And I'm just like, that's the beer. I don't even have a beer yet for it, but that's the name of the next IPA.
Oh, my God. That almost sounds like, what's Sandy's brother's name? The brewer for Fat Bat. What's his? Is it?
No, don't put me on a spot like that. I can't
Kevin?
remember. Yes, I think Kevin.
Kevin.
yes.
Kevin.
Yeah.
That's how they came up with Fat Bat.
Oh, really?
His dog, his pug dog laying on his back.
Right.
Hey, dude, you look like a fat bat. That's where they come up with it. So everything he does, that's his dog.
And he's an
He's an
awesome
amazing artist.
Yes, really nice.
And I think when we had them on, her thing was, we're not allowed to release the beer till he has the artwork done.
right?
Liquid Hero was organically, they chose that name. They were all out, 3 of them were drinking. And they were out partying, and what'd he say? Like, dude, you're my hero. And he's like, no, you're my liquid hero. There was the name.
Yeah.
And we've said this. I don't. Every story's unique of where you guys start from, where you got what your vision is. That's why we're enjoying this so much. We just get to know everybody, and everybody has a good, unique story to tell. We're just here to try and tell it.
Right. And that's one of the main reasons why this is the business we decided to start. Was I'm 30 years with Walmart managing
Yeah, I
stores,
saw that.
and
You need to get out of corporate world.
Oh my God, that's hyper competitive in not just between stores, but between in the store. And I was just like, okay, it's a young man's game. I will tell you that. The stores are 216,000 square foot, and you're covering them 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times a day.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, this is time to get out. So what do we want to do? And researching, I love the craft beer camaraderie between one and the other and the brewer.
And we've
It's not
heard
a
that story
competitive-
over and over again. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I said, so if that's how we're going to finish our working career, let's do that.
Yes, you can
A lot
have some
less stress.
fun. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, is it a lot less stress?
I will tell you, as I told many people, my worst day in the brewery is still better than my best. So
Hey, you haven't worked a day in your
and
life
I-
since.
exactly. It is really good. It's great. Especially when you work with great people, because and you'll see, if you talk to us long enough, you'll know where the brains kind of sits. I just try to make sure, because if I'm the smartest one in the room, we got a problem. So I try to go out there and get the smartest people in the room with me. Yeah, listen to what they have to say.
It's the same thing I tell my staff, at the shop. Yeah, I'm technically your boss, but I'm not. I'm just a part of that cog, where we're just part of the wheel.
Yep.
Yeah, my name's on the building and I write your check, but other than that, we're a team effort. And
Pretty much.
the team has to work together.
Exactly.
But I see we got another beer here.
Yeah. So we have Flux.
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 So tell us a little bit about Flux.
So Flux is a New England IPA. It was our first kind of repeat customer where we started due to demand, started keeping it on tap. So this is basically New England IPAs. Just for those who aren't familiar, it's a IPA that's basically designed to be pretty smooth and easy drinking. So it's lacking that sharpness. And
Okay.
this is
What's the grain bill? The hops are in it. I mean,
It's 2-row, and hops are a variety of mostly, as you know, with the New England, it's late in the kettle edition and Whirlpool, but it's Columbus, CTZ, some Mosaic, Citra,
okay.
and I think it touches Centennial, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so almost all four, the majority of the
Yeah.
4 C's. But
Yeah.
cheers to Flux, not Influx, just Flux,
Just
right?
Flux.
Not the capacitor. And
That's where it's from.
is that where it's from?
That's where
Okay,
it's
I was
from.
going to ask.
Yep.
All right.
Flux capacitor.
You did good with that drink. You see that?
Uh-huh.
Not too-
Took it like a champ.
On the outside, it looked great. On
Really
the
good.
inside, it was a different story.
It's almost, I'd call that like a West Coast hazy. I'm going to call it a West Coast
Yeah.
because it's
So-
it's not true West Coast where you're
No.
getting that pine.
So we do a slight. There is a kettle edition with this. Now some New Englands they're basically doing no kettle editions. It's all Whirlpool and beyond. This one does have a small kettle edition. You're probably picking that up. A little bit of bitterness.
A little bitter at the very end. I'm not really the big IPA guy either. But my palate has been, since we've been doing this, has been open. I'll drink everything.
Right.
Except for the chocolate duchesse.
Oh, sorry about that.
And no, wait. We just had one the other night from the brewery. It was a 2014 Belgian.
Oh, that
was
that one was hard to handle.
that was hard to handle.
Yeah.
But this, kudos.
Thanks. Cheers.
Kudos.
So she's a fan favorite, and if I'm drinking an IPA, this is usually what I'm going to.
So of the 2 IPAs, the Zombie Frog that you thought was dead,
Mhm.
and the Flux Capacitor,
Yeah.
that goes off to the future. We're Back to the Future.
Back to the future.
Which depending on which episode you're watching.
Exactly right.
Which one's your better seller?
I would say they are right at, if I had them on tap at the same time, because usually like when Flux goes out, we bring on Zombie. Zombie goes, Flux, just kind of change it up a little bit. They're dead heat. Just
Okay.
depends on the day.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I bought a 4-pack of the Zombie Frog when I was up there. Actually, I think brought that home twice.
Sometimes people just buy the Zombie Frogs just because of the name. They say, "Oh man, I like that damn.
Yeah,
I gotta
sure.
have that beer." I'm like, "Okay,
I can understand that.
you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You'll still like it. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not a bad choice."
No, good job. Good job. So you are not the head brewer. You're a part-time brewer, you said.
Right.
And do you have a second brewer?
Yes, we do have a head brewer. When Jesse left to pursue his own thing, we brought in Bert, our head brewer from Pittsburgh. He was at Strange Roots.
Right.
Strange Roots. So you got
Strange
somebody
Roots.
from there.
Yes. And he came up, and for the first almost a year, wasn't it? It was like close to a year, 8 months.
8 months.
He would travel on Friday here, get here Friday, brew all day Friday, all day Saturday, a little bit on Sunday morning, and head back. And that's how he kept us in
Mhm.
beer until he could get to in a situation where he could leave Pittsburgh and move here.
Awesome.
So
That's awesome.
That
That's
was
a hell of a drive back and forth.
I don't
He
know
was a
how
stud.
he did that. That was crazy. That's a brewer though.
That's awesome. I mean, he found a culture and a team he wanted to be a part of.
Mhm.
That was more the
It was more
other
you,
way
man.
around.
You were wooing him.
Long story,
Over
but
3
yeah.
days, sure. Come on down.
Yeah. So we did a collaboration up there, and kind of saw what they had going on and with him, and I knew his roots here on the personal side, and it didn't take too much. We found a way to make it work.
You didn't
and,
have to sweeten the pot too long.
Nah, it wasn't too bad. It worked out for us. It worked out for him, and at the end, we got a great team in the brewery. And,
That's awesome.
Now he's here full time, and things been.
So
good.
you come in and you were saying off the air that he runs the bigger, and you're doing the smaller batch stuff.
Sure. So what we did is once we expanded the brewery, we actually bought a full brew house. So the 10-barrel system is in an independent brew house. There's no tap room there.
Okay.
And then so Bert runs that, so when I come in to brew, I'll brew on a small system. And what we did is we came up with a small batch series, and him and I will collaborate during the week, come up with a recipe for the weekend, what we're going to brew, and then what we're trying to do is we try to put out a new beer every week to 2 weeks.
Every week.
Yeah, on one of the taps
Wow.
in some of the, wherever you have a tap space, we'll throw a
Damn.
new one out there. And that's a small batch series. And
That's a lot of collabing and recipe ideas.
it is.
man.
It's a lot of fun, and it's
A lot of ordering.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Brad's like, how much is this fucking going to cost me?
Stay away from the purees.
Are you sure it's going to work?
That's the beauty of it. And, I think people appreciate this. They appreciate that we're reaching out there and doing some stuff that's a little bit different,
Off the
And,
wall stuff.
for
You
sure.
have to.
Yeah. So and sadly, we one of the beers we wanted to bring you guys was our 4-year anniversary, which was it's kind of a mix of a small batch. We did a stout mixed with a aged pumpkin ale, and then it was barrel aged in a whiskey barrel from Wiggle Whiskey,
Oh,
and that was a special beer, and
I'm wiping a little drool off my chin.
and
Sounds good.
sadly that kicked, but that and that's kind of what the game Bert has brought to the team here, and that beer is
Like-
just real cool.
Like Dave said, what really started us down this was the barrel age stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kentucky, the Boulevard from Kentucky,
Right.
barrel age series, and then the Goose Island, Bourbon
Right.
County started us really down this whole path of this.
Right.
I mean, we've had something that was from Duclaw was 24.2% barley wine aged in what was that?
3 barrels.
I forget. It was aged 3 years, man. But it's sitting over there in my cupboard.
Yeah.
I wish I could get that again. It's a sipping beer. So delicious, man.
If you want something to look forward to, is Bert just did a barley wine, and got a sample of that out of the tank the other day, and just really cool, real unique. When that's going to make its debut, I'm not sure. So we're going to do a couple different barrel ages with that, the rye barrels, and
you got a rye?
for sure, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man.
So it's going to be pretty exciting when that comes out. So
We're gonna have to keep an eye out for these bottle releases, buddy.
Yep.
Making a trip to Sign of the Horse. We'll have to probably hit all 3 because we don't know what fucking location
Yes,
they'll have it at.
you got to check the menu daily.
I mean,
Then you have to get there before it's all gone.
yeah,
That's the whole thing.
I think it's. I mean, we chase this stuff, and I think you guys hit it on the head. You know, you're trying to come up with unique ideas to hit everybody's palate to keep them coming to you guys again. Because if a customer comes in, no matter what business, if they're not happy, they're not coming back.
That's right.
No.
So you guys have to come up with that unique idea to keep them. Hey, we got something new coming out. You got to come try it, or I had a great experience, or whatever. And they're going to keep coming back, and they're going to tell their friends. And I think all this whole industry, and you guys touched on it, the camaraderie between everybody. It's not a dog eat dog world, and I'm wearing milk fucking bone underwear, like Norm said from Cheers.
Right.
It's a dog eat dog world. What can I do to help you?
Yeah, no, that's like we talked about the Brew Kids Festival. Like those festivals, they're a good time. You know,
They are
the
blast.
best thing is right in the very beginning. It's like you walk around to see what the other breweries are. What do you got? What do you got? I'll be back. You know,
Yeah.
and you come back and you drink their beers and you hang out, and it's a good time.
I think that's what's awesome about it. I mean, you know, we're trying to come up with a good idea and get a bunch of you guys together, and we're going to call it the night flights of the round table, where we bring a bunch of the brewers in and just feed you different beer that isn't yours.
Ah,
That could
there
get
you
interesting.
go.
Yeah.
And get an interesting feedback like, oh, this shit sucks. And then he's sitting across his table from you.
Yeah, you're not
Don't let
gonna
them know who's.
you're not gonna know
You
who-
won't know what
you
we
won't
give
know
you.
what we give you. We're
But
gonna give just
Definitely
give
don't
you,
invite me, because if you do anything with IPA, I'm like, what the?
Brad, we'll make sure we have a fucking Coors Light with water here for you.
You learn quickly to have thick skin.
Yes.
So when our first brewer was there, we had a guy come in. We're feeding beer every week.
Oh my god,
And this guy, you know who I'm talking about?
cowboy.
Yeah. So I gave him a beer that our brewer was particularly proud of, and he took a sip. And he's like, "This tastes like hot hose water." And I was dying. I got on my phone immediately. I was texting him. I was like, "Your beer tastes like hot hose water."
Was that the name of the beer when it was
No,
done?
so that's never come out as a name, but it was just so you have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
You can't make everyone happy, but
Yeah.
you know we try to
That,
bring
that wouldn't
bring
be a
little bit.
bad name. Hot hose water.
He
You can
he
make
didn't
it.
miss a beat either.
You can make that like a sessionable like Pilsner or something.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Hot hose water. I mean, I think that's why I don't get sick.
Yeah.
I drink out of the fucking hose a lot, man.
Yeah, it's a generational thing, drinking out of the hose. But
Licking windows and everything else. With my back right now, just went into the doctor's, the neuro, and they have them kiosks to check in. It says, "Please use hand sanitizer." I went,
got you now.
"Oh my!" Anything like this is going to come out right near the holidays.
Mhm.
Anything going on like special events you guys do? I mean, you had mentioned some of the beer festivals and stuff. Anything like during the holiday season that Sign of the Horse is doing at any of the locations? What do you guys have like on a weekly basis, stuff like that?
Well, at our Red Line location, we're going to try to have a New Year's Eve ticketed event that includes dinner and drinks and whatnot. We're right downtown. I guess they're dropping a cigar.
Oh, they're dropping a cigar at Red Line?
in Red Line.
Yeah.
That's what I'm being told. So that night we're going to try that and see how that goes. Give people a place to nice, quiet. Well, as quiet as New Year's Eve can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It depends on how early you start.
Exactly. Evening there. Obviously on Wednesday night for Thanksgiving we have music, which is always great to have folks in there with the families, because it's something that you see all year, and then all of a sudden the family comes in, they got a table for 2 or 4. Now they're bringing in a table of 8, and you get to kind of meet the rest of the family, where they're from out of town, they're from.
That's awesome.
So that's nice. And then on Friday after Thanksgiving, we're going to start our renewals for our mug club. Kicks off, so we'll have a breakfast for 'em Black Friday morning.
Okay.
Then come in, have free breakfast, try some beer mimosas, which we make with our wheat beer, and some mimosas if you don't want to drink beer, and some Bloody Marys. So, and then that gives them opportunity to re-up for the mug club, and that way they keep their same number. But
So-
sometimes people are they like their numbers.
Particular about
they
that
like their
number.
number, and I did not realize that was a thing, but I found that out very, 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 very quickly.
I've seen some
And I
posts
learned.
recently like, "Hey, we're doing the mug club. If you don't hear, you're losing your mug."
Yeah, so that starts on Friday, and then obviously December 3rd is when we do whole kickoff for any one that has not.
Does
joined.
that expand, or you have a certain amount of?
We
and
keep
that's
it limited, yes.
Okay.
Now, obviously, this year we're going to change it up a little bit with Red Lion. They're kind of so far, so we're going to have might be with the Hanover, but be the same number. But there's going to be an H in front of it now, so the Hanover because.
Do they have to take 2 subscriptions out
No.
on that? Okay, that was
One.
going to ask.
One does everything. So you're good to
Okay.
go. So if you're out of town, you're visiting Hanover, your mug club's still good at all the locations.
That's awesome. I never joined a mug club. We don't get out enough to become a mug club.
Right?
Plus, we know if I would join a mug club with everybody we've recorded with,
Oh my Lord.
I'd be broke.
Yeah, you would be.
And they'd all be dry because we don't get out that much. Well, we try and get out to all the locations, especially before we launch your episode. We'd like to come out,
Right.
do like a little, just visit, do a little live thing, then and push it out, and then try and promote the episode. But we don't always make it out. So I don't
Right.
like to make
Yes.
promises. Like I don't like to make that New Year's resolution that I
Exactly.
never hold to.
So one of the other neat things we're kind of doing once we got started in Red, there's a event center called Double Barrel Roadhouse.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Yes. So we are now in there providing beer for them as one of our locations inside their location.
So you're getting it's starting to expand a little
Yes,
bit.
yes. And we're actually going to be co-hosting with them a beer fest in the middle of winter because it's such a huge event. Huge
Okay.
event center.
Central PA Port would love to be there.
We'll get you there. But it's going to be February 24th. Mark your calendar. And I think that's going to be our inaugural beer fest. And Jim and Catherine are absolutely awesome owners and great to partner with rather. But Jim's a little crazy. He's got a lot of crazy ideas. So he's thinking about bringing in the old mechanical bull for it. And I said, I don't know what could possibly go wrong with that. But yeah, sure.
Make sure they sign that waiver at the bottom.
Exactly. So I think that's going to be fun. He's going to have a lot of other activities going.
If you do, we're getting Dave on that mechanical bull.
Exactly.
Like hell you are.
You'll do it
Getting down
once. That's right.
What's that?
You'll do it once.
Yeah, well, I'll do it once.
They'll give you the girl ride.
Exactly. We'll put it
Yeah.
on really slow.
Very slow.
And then Kevin and I'll be over like, get the fuck out of the way.
Yep. Oh,
My buddies.
exactly.
I think that's awesome. I mean, the beer festivals, yes. You guys didn't make it to Yorktoberfest, or were you out there?
We did not make it to Yorktoberfest.
You didn't. It was.
We were there 2 years in a row, so we just didn't have the
It was
manpower
wet.
to get
It
there
was
this
wet
time.
and cold. It
Really?
was wet and cold. But I tell you what, the weather. That was the first time these guys weren't home, so I went out myself, and luckily Matt sat me up in the VIP underneath the pavilion. And there was a lot of people there. I was shocked. A, because he made it weather, no refunds. Doesn't matter what the weather is. So you spend the $30 or $50, you're going to go. And there was more people there than I thought. And I didn't get to everybody there either.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. They're a good time, but you know how you get caught up at
Yeah,
one
and if you guys are busy and you only got 1 or 2 standing at your booth, you don't have time to come over and sit down for 15, 20 minutes with us. So, of course, we had Jason sit in a couple times at Brew Kids, so that's why we didn't get to you. We'll blame it on Jason from Gift Doors.
Yeah.
the Brew Kids, that was probably the most fun event I've done.
And we're going to be
Nerf
back here
guns.
again.
The Nerf, you watch, they won't give us the Nerf guns next year because
Oh, no, I
we're
guarantee
wearing
you.
people out with
I
those. so-
guarantee you. They
was-
may restrict you, but the Nerf guns will still be around. You may have to confiscate.
The brewer from Public House, she went out and bought a.
I saw
Did
that.
you see that thing? And I was like, give me that. We were just trying to just wear people out with that. It was a good time.
Our neighbor,
So-
Josh, he took his drone, and he was the one doing the drone videos. So we did a little thing on that. He edited it down, and we did some drone. He had what is that, a 360 camera?
360 camera.
So we put that into that release that we did for Brew Kids. But that we've done that. That's the second time we did Brew Kids. Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, the second
They're
time, I
fun.
think.
Was that the first? Was that the first time we did?
That was the first time, yeah, because I think the weather kept us out the year before, and this year,
Yeah, they're
guys rated it.
they're so much fun.
It was a good
I mean,
time.
it was a good time. And like I said, I had a list. Okay, here's who's here. Here's who we've recorded with. We'll get them in for a short recap, and then I want to hit. And Next thing I turn around, it's like, shit, they're all tearing down, and I didn't get to dit. It's like, crap, we didn't get them all.
Yeah, you run out of time.
Yeah, we do.
You just run out of time. You know, I had to feel for him because he had to do the Oktoberfest by himself because I couldn't make it. I had a pretty big engagement that I had to go to. I was sitting in the
Does your wife know you had it? You were getting engaged?
yeah. Well, she knew where I was. I was at the Penguins clubhouse in the box seats.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. You had
watching the game. Well,
speaking of sports, you guys do sports. I mean, you have sports there. You guys watch sports?
I love to watch sports. That's probably a downfall if you ask my wife.
What's your favorite sport or team?
I'm I hate saying it. It's like this is with, and you know what? It's just not fair
What's that?
because it's the Houston Astros, and you know when you're a Houston Astros fan since you're like 12,
Hey,
everybody remembers like the last 7 years, but they don't remember the hell that I went through before
until
then.
so you were starting around the time they got Nolan Ryan.
and Joe Morgan.
Yeah.
That was a real big
a long
reason
time
why I
ago.
started.
A long time
Yes.
ago. I mean,
Long time ago.
I'm a baseball fan.
Right.
That's my sport. I'm a Yankee fan since going back to the early 70s. So I respect, and I was happy. I'm not a huge Astros fan, but I was happy last year when they won it for Dusty. This year, I'm not so much. Like, all right, I'm glad Texas got by him. Sorry, buddy. I was hoping that, but
Yeah, it was nice. But I was able to get to last year thanks to like these guys and the time off. We went to after Houston to watch the World Series
that's
game
awesome.
one.
Yeah. You've been, dude, I'm
Yeah.
fucking jealous.
And then
You've been to the World Series
everybody's
game.
like, they're going to play like 2 hours away. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to the World Series, I'm going where my people are at. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to Philly. Be an Astros fan. I'm a little smarter than that. Let me go into Houston. So
Now there ain't nothing wrong. I mean, Astros have been there. They're dominant.
yeah, they are
They're
dominant.
dominant.
But
Did Dusty retire now?
Dusty did. Yes, he's done.
He didn't get that second time, so you just called it quits.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you got Bruce Bochy on the other side. He came back and won another
Yeah.
World Series. So I love baseball. I can sit here and
Yep.
talk baseball all night long. He's a Steeler fan.
Steelers.
yep.
Not bad.
Pardon me?
One of my sons is a Steelers fan.
Okay.
He's
Steeler fan, Pittsburgh fan. I went to the University of Pittsburgh, so I'm a Panther fan.
right there.
So right now our team isn't doing so.
Yeah.
So they're not flourishing this year.
Neither's mine.
Neither.
But they
Rough.
but I enjoy watching them. I was actually when I was at school down there. I was actually in the band, so I went to all the games.
Oh.
So had to go to all the games.
Oh darn.
Yeah. Oh, hang it. I had to show up and be there at all the game. You know, never had to pay for a trip to any of the games. They took me.
What about
They
you, Matt?
provided it.
What about you, Matt? You like sports or not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sports guy. I was a season ticket holder for the Ravens for the first year, for the first probably 20 years. And then personal issues made me get rid of those PSLs. And I haven't been a committed fan recently, but I pretty much work 7 days a week. You know how it is.
Well, that's when you're a part-time brewer.
Yeah, that's hey, we all make our unique.
You're only going to have to
sacrifice.
brew twice a week.
Twice a week. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
But so I haven't followed as much. I've dabbled into Orioles, but right now I'm just busy, and it's all good.
I was kind of hoping the Orioles, since the Yankees kind of choked their way out of this year. I was hoping the Orioles would make a run. Now they're still young.
Yeah.
They're still young. Maybe next year they'll put it all together and make another good run at it. I mean, Philadelphia made a good run at it. They all make runs. I'm a baseball. I don't watch a lot of sports.
Mhm.
Baseball, once baseball is done, other than Penn State, which can be very aggravating from week to week.
Yeah.
Make you want to drink more beer.
More beer. Make sure the fridge is loaded.
Yep, and usually is. Gentlemen, I mean, this has been fun. I mean, got to know you guys, got to hear your story. I had a great time. What do you guys think?
First time, man. You know, this has been enjoyable. I really have.
Why the fuck did we waste our time coming here?
These guys here, they brew beer. Okay.
Dave, any last comments?
No, maybe a question. What was the name of the organization again? No, I'm sorry. No, I had a good time, and I learned some things, and unfortunately, I had to put that over there.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Not here.
There you go. I knew.
That's how they're meant to be drank.
Yes.
That's why we don't let that alcohol get too high. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just I'm sorry. I'm just not an avid IPA guy, and some IPAs when you're a little, but that one was a wee bit heavy for me. But
have you hit the Oktoberfest yet?
That's what
No, we're gonna hit that now.
Hit that here soon.
I'll enjoy that. I will.
Brad, Matt, thank you guys for taking the time to come here and sit with Dave and I on a Central PA Pour. Unfortunately, Kevin, our other cohort, is not here. Tell us again where they can find you guys, location, social media, wherever, even though I have it in the screen above us.
We'll say we have the location. I'll say let's say 16 North Main Street there in Redline. We're down in downtown Hanover with the sign over the Horse Beer House, York Street, 979 York Street, and Hanover, the second location in Hanover. And then you can also, if you go to the Double Barrel Roadhouse, that place is awesome. They have shows there every like Friday and Saturday night. You can get just the same beers on the wall there weekends. And in the fall or the spring, we're actually have the Sign of the Horse Roadhouse at the York Revs Stadium.
Oh.
So we're out there also.
So you're going to be out at the York Revs.
Yeah,
So we'll have to go out and catch a ball game.
Yeah. This is our second year out there.
I keep
actually
saying
out
I'm going to
there.
get out there, and every year it's like, oh shit, they're done.
I know you got to be quick because
We
they
do,
start and they go.
We do a couple different samplings a year where we'll kind of give out samples, and it's a good time there. It really is.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, I just, like I said, I just like baseball. I love baseball. So,
And there's not a bad seat in the house.
so
there.
in Redline,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna have to get down there. We're gonna have to go down and see Sign of the Horse.
Yep.
Hit the Double Barrel, and then how close is Jimmy Jack's Shine Shack down there? They're down. You don't know? We're gonna have to look it up. We're gonna have to hit the three locations.
Well, we have his address.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to go down there. What are we going to do after that? Get a hotel? Shit, somebody's
Uber.
going to have to drive home.
Uber
From Redline to Dover.
There you go.
Kevin can afford it.
That's right.
Kevin can afford anything. We'll let him pay for it.
Yeah.
But definitely make sure you see us in Redline in the spring and the early fall and the summer because we get that outdoor courtyard that's just that.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't physically been there. Watched the pictures you guys were putting on the social media when it was happening,
Right.
And then also the brew house. You guys were posting those pictures as well. I was like, damn, they've really jumped, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to make a nice visit. So visit Redline and then go to the Hanover, or go to Hanover then to Redline.
Either way.
Either way.
Just, they're both good. They're both.
Well,
They're definitely different feels to both of them.
Well, we're gonna have to hit all three
So,
eventually.
you wouldn't
Maybe
be-
not all on the same night.
There you go. See, what you can do is you could go the Redline or the Hanover first. Whatever beers you don't have. Get to.
We'll go on. We'll go
You
online. Look at the tap list.
Exactly.
What's on the tap list tonight?
Right.
So
And
It
you'll be like you're in
varies.
two different places.
yeah.
It varies. So if a spot kicks open in Hanover, there'll be a small batch series will show up there sometimes, and then Bert's in he's in the big brewery, and he's putting out crazy stuff sometimes too, and then that stuff will pop out, and so you never really know what's going to be on tap till you get there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Any last comments, Matt?
No, we appreciate it. It's a good time. So
I'm glad.
It was.
Always happy to talk beer, and we appreciate you guys letting us talk about what we have going on.
That's what we're here for. We're here to feature your story and what you guys are about. It's just here to be the facilitator, so to speak.
Do a great job of it. That's for sure.
I do appreciate it once again. Make sure you get out to look up Sign of the Horse at any of the 3 locations they have. Look us up wherever you get your audio podcast at Central PA Pour. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. You can check out our merch site. Gentlemen, what is our last beer sitting in front of us?
So our last beer is Rogue's Harbor. This is our Oktoberfest, which is
Rose Harper.
Rogue.
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 Rogue Harbor.
Rogue. Yeah, Rogue's
All right.
Harbor.
As
I
in the
get it.
Star Wars
Yep.
episode.
Yep. Okay, so,
So
is that
Marzen style?
No,
You know?
all right?
not quite that. Hanover used to be known as Rogue's Roost back in the day.
Oh,
More history.
So we already have a red ale as Rogue's Roost. So went with Rogue's Harbor.
This is the Marzen, and this right now, as we're drinking this, we're still kind of at the end of the Oktoberfest season because it comes freaking early.
Sure. for sure.
September. Like, come on, October. Let's make it October. But that's where all the pumpkin stuff comes out. October.
Exactly. We didn't bring the pumpkin. I
Oh,
figured you
man.
had plenty of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So again, what's the name of it?
Rogue's Harbor. But
Rogue's-
this is a beer we're pretty proud of. It
It smells.
if you like
delicious.
an Oktoberfest, this is a real nice one.
It smells
I mean,
delicious.
Bert really hit it out of the park this year.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys, Brad and Matt, for coming down here, taking the time to sit down here with the CPP. So if you're out there, let's raise a glass with Brad and Matt from the Sign of the Horse Brewery in Hanover and Redline and the CPP, and let's all be bonded by beer. Cheers.
Cheers.